Yeah. Hey, I'm Bart.
And I'm Scott.
We're from Kansas. Fairly recently into the Scotch hobby. We've seen a couple videos, and we just figured we would add our 2 cents into the hobby of, not the hobby.
Yeah.
The hobby? All right, maybe we'll leave it. The hobby of what drinking Scotch is. It's not your old man's drink anymore, if it ever was your old man's drink.
Oh, well, yeah, that's definitely broadened out. But a little bit about me and Bart. We've known each other for 18 years.
Yep.
Worked together. Both,
Like gay lovers?
no. Good friends.
Good, very good friends.
Bart moved in here from out of town.
Came from Colorado.
Was new to town. And I found out we had a couple things in common.
Several. Star Wars.
Broncos
football. Watch all you haters out there.
So, and now Scotch.
And Scotch. Definitely.
Games.
Comedy.
Video games.
Yeah. I mean, we grew up in the gaming age. So,
Yeah.
we'd both kind of come across Scotch once or twice. And oddly enough, I think we both felt there was something there. There's a depth to experiencing Scotch. And we both wanted to get into that a little bit deeper, and we got into several Scotch tastings and really fell in love with Scotch.
It's kind of inadvertent.
No, not for me.
On my part.
How'd you? You just got it gifted? You got a bottle gifted to you?
Well, no. My wife bought me a bottle.
Okay.
She thought I drank Scotch. I didn't. Since she bought
Now hold
me
on.
a
What did
bottle,
she get you? What did she get you?
Johnnie Walker Black. That was my first Scotch.
All right. Love the black.
Which probably, a lot of people say they hate Scotch. They tried it. It was nasty. What they've drank was the bottom shelf stuff.
Right.
Which isn't good.
Some people are shocked though too. I mean, it's very distinctive.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, she bought me some Johnnie Walker Black. It was on sale. She was on a cruise. She comes home. She's all excited. Bought you this Scotch. I go, well, that's great. I don't drink it.
He usually drinks Zima.
No. She says, you don't drink Scotch. I said, well, when have you ever seen me sitting around sipping on a glass of whiskey?
Now, he does smoke cigars on occasion. I do not, so I could see why she would think. So that's how you got into it.
Yeah.
Did I try it over here? No, I don't think so.
You tried it at the other house, didn't you?
Maybe so. I don't know.
I've been in this house for almost 5 years now, so you've been drinking it at least since then.
Okay, 5 years. I don't know what intrigued me on it. I think I'm sure I had a little bit with him. I kind of knew there was a history to Scotch. And when I remember what some of it was. Oddly enough, the History Channel did like the history of spirits, and they did a little bit on Scotch, and it really intrigued me that I'm a big history buff in general, but when they covered kind of what lays within, that literally the liquid conveys a sense of history, that actually grabbed me from kind of a romantic standpoint.
Start over again.
That was awesome. I don't think the distillery and the liquid itself, the spirit, actually held a piece of that history. So if you had a 25-year-old Scotch, that it really just captured something from that moment at the distillery at that peak time, and that really interested me. That here was a beverage that was capturing a moment in time. You don't get that with a beer or even vodkas and stuff like that. So
when we had our first Scotch tasting, where were you at? How much had you drank before that or tried?
Very little. I'd probably had some of his black.
Okay, that was 2009 then, so it was just about the time I moved in.
And what I did was I was intrigued, and there was a liquor store.
08.
Okay, in 08, there was a liquor store that would do all kinds of, they advertise all kinds of tastings, wine and different sorts. And I got a hold of the owner and asked if he did Scotch. He did, and we set up a kind of a Scotch tour of the regions. And he 10 bottles. I think he brought 10 different bottles.
Probably.
And this allowed me to experience, a lot all at once, and to kind of start to get comfortable with an entry level. And then Bruno and I have been expanding continually on what we like.
Yeah. And I can remember the first Scotch tasting that we did, and we sampled Lagavulin. which to me I can remember came off as very smoky, very peaty. I didn't like it. And that was one of the first Scotch tastings where we were trying all these different ones. And that was 4 or 5 years ago. And now we're up to where the peat is actually one of the things that we look for. He loves it.
Right.
I like it. To me, it's an occasional drink. I'm more of a fruity Scotch guy. But I do like a little bit of peat.
I love the smoke now. I mean, and I do remember early on, I'd get that smoke flavor, and I was like, ooh, it overwhelmed me a little bit. And now I just really love it. I feel like it really transitions, and I can pick up, maybe it's just because I'm a novice, and I can pick up more of what's there with the smoke. You know, I don't pretend that I can nose it and pick up, you know, fresh caramel or caramel.
Or daisies.
Yeah, daisies, or, you know, the...
No, caramel, I've noticed some. I can tell.
Okay, I picked up some caramel, vanilla notes. I can get some of it. Sometimes I wonder if it isn't transference, because I will read about what I'm supposed to pick up, and then I'll search for it. So, but hey, we're working on it. Trust me, you know, if you haven't tried Scotch and you want to venture into something that actually has some meat on the bone, and comes with its own history and its, you know, own loving care, grab you some Scotch and just, you know, tiptoe in.
That's good. Box of Caol Ila. It's 12-year-old from the Isle of Islay. It should be a little peaty. Most of your Islays, I believe, are.
Says it should have a flowery, kind of peppery note. So originally I was not a big fan of the smoke. The more Scotch I've had, the smokier I like it. So I don't know if that's a trend or if that's just me.
Lefroy. We've had Lefroy, real peaty, real smoky.
Talisker.
Peat Monster, an actual blended Scotch. Very peaty.
I love the Peat Monster, but let's go ahead and pop this open. You bought it, so
you bet.
Show the bottle. By the way, one of the things I love about Scotch, everything from bottle design, their logo, the color here is almost like, I don't know.
Looks like the bottle's got a little tint to it. I do. I love. I'm a big fan of simple packaging. Actually, I love Balvenies. It's a very simple, elegant almost labeling, and even the box that it comes in. I think that one was mine, actually. Pour just a little bit in. Whether or not you want to add water to your Scotch is up to you, to your whiskey. Some people prefer to, some don't.
Everything I mean, again, we're not experts, but everything I've seen is you got to add at least a touch to open up some of the tannins. One of the best things I've seen, especially for people that are maybe a little shy of Scotch, is you can add water until you've got it down to an area where they can start to pick up the flavors. So
if you notice, I just put a small splash of water in mine.
I like a little bit more water.
The idea is most Scotches are 40 to 45%, and they think, or they say, you should want to bring it down to about a 30% alcohol level. That way it's more pleasing to the palate. The alcohol won't burn you, and you can get more of the flavors out of it.
But if we've got a new person, I'm never out there telling them they got to drink it neat. So now I wouldn't let them put Coke in it.
No, that's party foul.
Yeah, but all right.
Definite peat. Very peaty. Not a harsh peat though. Swirl it around. Get some of your scent. Richard Patterson will show you. He's got some excellent videos on how to nose a Scotch. Just get a little whiff. Go with both nostrils.
YouTube Richard Patterson. I love it.
Yes.
Hello, how are you?
Yes. Hello. I remember your cousin.
Kind of chew it around a little bit. You know, I'm always looking for that first, what you're smelling, your first taste. You can feel it kind of transition through a few different flavors, which is what I love with Scotch. whiskeys in general, and then the aftertaste. You know, is it a smooth finish? Is it a smoky, long aftertaste?
And you want to take a swig, take a little bit in your mouth, saturate all of your taste buds with it, get it in all of your gum lines, get it underneath your tongue, get it on the back of your tongue. Let it permeate in there, and then swallow it. And when you swallow it, take a breath of air through your mouth and pick up a lot of those flavors that's in it. This is very smooth and peaty.
It's supposed to have some peppery notes. I do pick up a little bit of that. I don't get so much of the floral.
Floral, yeah, I'm not picking up on that. But
Yeah, I would say that's one of the highlights for this so far for me is it's got a real soft finish to it.
So finishing notes on the Caol Ila.
Big fan. For me, it brings that strong, smoky peat flavor, soft finish, that lingering aftertaste, and I do kind of pick up some of the peppery notes, which I like. It's got a little bit of a pop to it. Very pleasant.
I agree. And like I said, I'm not a big fan of the very heavy peat. This is a medium peat, I would say. There's some with a lighter, some definitely stronger. It's a medium peat, very smooth and very surprising. And I think that bottle was $55, $56.
Very affordable. So very good bottle.
And that's it.
Very nice.
Bart.
Very nice 12-year-old single malt, and I cannot pronounce it. Say it again for me.
Caol Ila.
Caol Ila. Caol Ila.
I think that's how I've heard it pronounced.
We actually even tried to look it up to see
Bart.
if... Yes, and Scoot. All right, it's Bart and
Scott.
And we're out of here. See you guys later.
Bart
Enjoy
and
some
Bruno.
scotch.
Yep.
Bruno and Bart.
We'll be making more. Hopefully they get better.
Oh, they're all right.
Yeah.
That was good.
All right.
All right. See ya. Cheers.
Salud.